They say Bali is for honeymooners, a sanctuary of lovers, a place to find yourself, usually alone or with a partner. But have you ever seen this island through the eyes of a child? Where the deep blue water is not just a view, it's a playground. Where the endless swings are not just for photos, but for joy, and where every single morning brings a strange, beautiful calmness that you just cannot find anywhere else. So, before we left, so many people warned us traveling with a kid, that's not a vacation, that's just a trip. And we said, challenge accepted. Because we discovered that Bali is the one place on earth where adventure actually meets serenity. From the stunning beaches and the lush green rice terrace to a vibrant nightlife that actually welcomes a family, this island took us into a completely different world. So, if you ever wondered if you can still explore the world after having a family, this video is for you. Hello everyone, I am Moshumi, and if you love traveling but sometimes get confused about where to go, when to go, and how to plan it, you are in the right place. Welcome to The Trip Way, where I help you plan your next destination the smart way. This trip should not just be about ticking off tourist spots. It should be about how a family vacation can actually feel like a vacation for the parents too. So today I am taking you through a complete Bali travel guide. In this video, we will not just cover the beautiful locations, but we are going to address all those fears and doubts that every parent has before booking those tickets. We will deep dive into the logistic, hassle-free visa and the best way to reach, transport, how to navigate Bali's traffics with kids, the stay and food, finding those hidden family-friendly gems, the math, a realistic mid-range budget, and a 7-day itinerary which will not be rushed at all, and a few more tips which could help you make your Bali trip a memorable and smooth vacation. If these are the questions running through your mind, then trust me, you are at the right place. So, let's start this beautiful journey together. How to reach? Alright, let's get into the practical stuff. How do you actually get to paradise? Reaching Bali from India has become incredibly convenient. Now, if you're traveling with kids and budget is not a constraint, I highly recommend the direct flights operating from cities like Delhi and Bangalore. But if you are a mid-budget traveler like us, we suggest taking a connecting flight through Singapore or Kuala Lumpur. Just a tip, keep those layovers around 3-4 hours so it doesn't get too hectic for the little ones. Flights from India to Bali usually range from 25k to 40k return, depending on how early you book. Usually they are cheaper from South India, which is why we actually took our flight from Tiruchirappalli. A pro tip here, always try to book connecting flights under the same PNR and same airlines. This simplifies everything. You do not need a transit visa, your baggage is checked through directly to Bali, and if your first flight is delayed, the airline takes full responsibility for your journey. It's a total peace of mind. Now let's talk about your entry checklist. Bali has some new rules to avoid that last minute immigration stress. There are 3 main things you need. First one is the visa. For Indians, the visa on arrival is the go-to choice. It costs about 500k IDR, which is approximate 2700 rupees in Indian rupees for 30 days. My advice, don't waste time in the airport queue. Apply for your e-visa on arrival online. The link is in the description box at least 48 hours before you fly. It's a total lifesaver. Second one is the custom declaration. This is the all Indonesia arrival card which replaced the old paper forms. It's a free digital declaration you should fill out within 72 hours of your arrival. And third one is the Bali Tourist Levy. This is a new mandatory tax of 150k IDR per person. Now, being honest with you guys, we actually didn't pay this online and were not even asked for it during immigration. But only take that risk if you are carrying Indonesian currency, because at the airport they only accept the local cash for this levy. So keep that option open based on your preference. By the way, are you a digital native who likes having everything on their phone? Or do you still carry a physical folder with printed copies? Let me know in the comment section. Now let's talk about staying connected. How do you navigate or call your driver without a local SIM? In Bali, you will find several providers right at the airport arrival hall. We personally used Telkomsel, and honestly it felt like the best choice of connectivity. Even in the most remote parts of Nusa Penida, we had a solid signal. We actually pre-booked our SIM through Viator online. An agent meets you at the airport or even at your hotel to deliver it. It usually takes about 6 hours to activate, so keep that in your mind for your first day's plan. Tip: if your phone supports it, eSIMs are an even smoother option. No physical cards, no waiting, just scan a QR code and you are good to go. Now, before we get into the day-to-day planning, let me show you the soul of Bali. These are the places that made our trip unforgettable. Tanah Lot Temple, Queen's Beach Club, Kuta Beach, Lempuyang Temple, Tirth Ganga, Bali Swing, Uluwatu Temple, Melasti Beach, Pandava Beach, Ulundanu Temple, Ubud Palace, Saraswati Temple and Nusa Penida Island, which will include Kelingking Beach, Diamond Beach, Thousand Island Viewpoint and the Tree House. Now let's get into the heart of the trip, our 7-day itinerary. We designed this to be child-friendly but parent-approved, balancing heavy sightseeing with enough time to breathe. Day 1. We reached Bali early morning and took some much-needed rest. Around 3 pm, we headed to Tanah Lot Temple on the west coast. A pro tip here: if you reach around 4 pm during the low tide, you can actually cross the sea to visit the temple base. It's famous for its sunset, and trust me, the golden hour here is pure magic. To end day 1, we headed to Queen's Beach Club. It is labeled as the world's best beach club for a reason. Entry is free, they have changing rooms, towels and great food. We had our dinner there, soaked in the vibe and called it a day. Day 2 was all about South Bali's Turkish waters. We enter at Pandava Beach, named after the Pandavas from Mahabharata. It's a surfer's paradise. Next was Melasti Beach, clearly our favorite. It's the southern tip of Bali and the view from the limestone cliffs as you drive down is breathtaking. Most important, carry extra clothes, towels because you cannot resist jumping into this water. Have your lunch and then visit the Suluban Beach. To reach Suluban Beach, you have to hike down for 50 to 60 stairs, but for the view it is all worth it. We ended the day at Uluwatu Temple for the sunset. It's located in southwest of Bali. You would probably get to see the best sunset of your life, but be careful of the monkeys here. They are quite aggressive. Post sunset, we watched the Kechak fire dance, which depicts the Ramayana in a stunning cultural style. Day 3 is the most awaited day because you would be visiting Nusa Penida, an island where you find nature in its raw and untouched form. You can take ferry early morning from Sanur Port, which will take 45 minutes to reach Nusa Penida. You can book the ferry online from the link in the description. Once you reach there, you can explore the island via scooty or car. We suggest hiring a car in advance as the roads are narrow and not in that good condition, and the destinations are far from each other. Start your trip from the east side by visiting Diamond Beach, whereby seeing the diamond-shaped cliffs and turquoise water, you would be delighted. You can access the beach going down hiking for about 45 to 60 minutes, but we were saving our energy for something special. And why to go down here if you are getting such a mesmerizing view from the top? Next, get a view of Atu Beach, which is exactly opposite to Diamond Beach, a little quieter but equally stunning. Then move to the Thousand Island Viewpoint and Rumapoho Tree House. Both these places are in the same compound, and the energy you have saved earlier needs to be utilized here, as you have to climb down 200 steps to reach this place. It's surely tough, but once you reach the stunning views would reward you for the same, and you would surely curse yourself if you would not make to this place. Then have lunch and move to the west side of the island, where first you visit the Broken Beach, where a natural arc creates an ocean lagoon, a super photogenic spot, and near to it is Angel Billabong. And finally, end your day at Kelling Beach, whose cliff is T-Rex shaped. You can again trek here till the beach, which takes around 1 hour. So if you are adventurous enough, you should definitely try, as the beauty keeps amplifying with every step. Now, if you have less days and going to Nusa Penida for a single day or taking a day trip, you can either cover east or west side of it, because the last ferry from Nusa Penida is at 5 pm, and also in those cases you cannot plan to trek down in any places whatsoever. We planned to stay there for a night, and believe me, it was the best decision, as we could see the sunset at Kelling Beach, which was amazing. Day 4. Return to Bali, but take an alternate route. At 10:30 am, take a ferry from Sampalan Port in Nusa Penida to Kusamba Port in East Bali, which will take approx 45 minutes. This route is perfect for people who wants to explore East Bali next, and it saves a day. Pre-book your cab and directly move to Lempuyang Temple. It is one of the most ancient temple in Bali. The most iconic spot here is the Gateway of Heaven, where we get to click the Insta famous mirror image in front of an active volcano. But keep in mind, to get the photos here, the waiting time could be around 3 to 4 hours, specifically in peak seasons. So once you get your ticket, you can visit 100 meters down the lane to a place called Heaven Swing. Here you can click very pretty pictures with Mount Ago backdrops, and they have the professional photographers who click the pictures for you, and then you can come and click picture at the Gateway of Heaven. There are shops all along the lane, so you can have your food there. The next stop is the Tirth Ganga, which is a royal water palace. The fountain, stepping stone, and the garden gives you a magical experience. And head directly to Ubud and call it a day. Day 5 of the Bali trip was all about the vibe of the nature, culture, and the insta-perfect moments. So early morning around 8 am, start your journey towards Ulundano Temple, which is in the North Bali and is around 40 kilometers from Ubud. This ride was an experience of its own. Lush green rice fields and cold breeze makes the ride magical. Ulundanu Berathan Temple is a floating temple which is located in the middle of Berathan Lake, dedicated to water goddess Debidanu. The reflection effect, mountain backdrop, photos, and the peace, you will get everything here. Then return back to Ubud and get into the mood of adventure, as it's the time for some Bali swings. There are plenty of places where you can try it, and the best of it is the Allah's Haram, but it's a lot commercial, expensive, and waiting time is much more. So we choose Peak Heaven Bali Swing. as here the photographs are taken by their people with no extra charges, which we booked via Klook app. Swings, nest, heart-shaped frames all in one place, and you get pro level photos as well. Next, have lunch and in the evening visit Ubud Palace and Saraswati Temple, which are very near to each other. Ubud Palace gives a glimpse of Bali's royal heritage site and is famous for its architecture and Balinese dance. And next, the Saraswati Temple, whose lotus-filled pond and intricate carvings will mesmerize you. It's great place to feel the aesthetic and spiritual vibe of Bali. And with that ends the day 5. Day 6 and 7 were the grand finales of Bali trip, a perfect mixture of adventure, thrill and luxury. Day 6 starts with the jeep ride to Mount Batur Sunrise Viewpoint, and it starts at 2:30 am in the night. And believe us, this is hands down one of the best experience you can have in Bali. First, you do off-road to reach the viewpoint, and then you see the night turns to an orange sunrise moment which feels like dream come true. Golden rays, misty mountains, and above the volcano rises the sun, a feeling that can never be put on words. And you can have the jeep ride to Black Lava Fields where you witness the old volcano eruptions result. If you want the contact details of the guide for Mount Batur Jeep Sunrise trip, ping us on Instagram and we will share the details. After returning, if your energy levels are still high, which it should be, the next stop has to be the ATV ride. Muddy trails, rice padding, off-road patch and crazy water slashes. The whole trail makes you feel like an adventure movie. You can book ATV along with Sunrise package itself, but Sumit did it separately because child were not allowed whose age are below 7 years. Finally, day 7. We had our return flight the next day early morning, so we decided to end this adventure on a grand note. We checked into LV8, a luxury resort in Canggu, and honestly, it was the best decision we made. You know, the beauty of Bali is that you can experience 5-star luxury at a surprisingly reasonable price. This was not just a stay, it was the cherry on the top. The view of the ocean from the infinity pool, chilled drinks in your hand, slow music playing in the background, and that final dreamy Bali sunset. It was in the moment that the trip officially turned into a vacation. It was the perfect, calm wrap up to our magical week. Sometimes, after all hiking and temple runs, you just need a day where the only plan is to do absolutely nothing. Now, let's talk about the most important part of any trip, the budget. Because it's important to have clarity so that there are no last minute surprises. To make it easy for you, I have divided the budget into two categories. Standard travelers like us, where comfort and affordability both matters, and luxury travelers who want that royal Balinese feel. So let's begin with the common stuff. Flights. If you book 2-3 months in advance, it will cost you around 40,000 return per couple. Connectivity. Just get one SIM card for around 1100. Your partner can easily use the hotspot. It's a simple way to save. Visa. That's 2700 rupees per person, so roughly 5400 rupees per couple. Now let's talk about the differentiators. Stay. Standard options, you can find the great rooms for 2000 rupees per night. Check the description for where we stayed. For 6 nights, that's just 12,000 rupees to 15,000 rupees. But if you want private villas or luxury resorts, the budget will be around 8,000 rupees per night, which comes to about 50,000. Food. Standard travelers can enjoy local favorites like nasi goreng, which is fried rice, or mee goreng, which is basically noodles, for one meal and Indian food for the other. This will cost you around 3000 rupees per day for a couple. Luxury travelers, if you prefer Indian food twice a day, budget will be around 5000 rupees per day. So total will be 35,000 rupees. You can also save money on transportation. We used a combination of a car and a bike. The car for Nusa Penida and East Bali and bike for the rest of the trip. This costed us around 12,000 rupees. But if you prefer a car throughout, around 3,800 rupees per day, it will be approx 26,000. ATV rides, the Jeep Sunrise Tour, Bali swings and all the temple entries will sum up about 20,000 rupees per couple. Good news parents, kids under the age of 7 are usually free at almost all these points. So let's round it up. For a standard traveler, the total comes to around 1,20,000 excluding the kids flight. For a luxury traveler, it's around 1,82,000 excluding the kids flight. And honestly, Bali is so incredibly cheap for the kind of world-class experience it offers. From private villas and professional photo shoots to jeep safaris and Turkish beaches, you get so much value for every rupee spent. Trust me, it is 100% worth visiting at least once in your life. By the way, what's your travel style? Are you team standard or team luxury? Tell us in the comments below and let's see which side wins. Bali did not just give us photos, it gave us time together. It turned our trip into lifelong memory. If this guide helped you even a little bit in planning your dream vacation, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel. If you have any specific questions about the visa, our driver's contact, or even just need a bit of advice on traveling with kids, drop a comment below. Need quicker response? Connect with me on Instagram at TheTripWay. DM me anything and I'll be happy to help you out. Well then, until the next destination, keep traveling the trip way because the world is too beautiful to stay in one place. Bye guys, see you in the next one.